All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Stephen Hensley, and today is Tuesday, November 7th, 2017, and it is 10:47 a.m. The intentions for this video or event are just to attempt to brainstorm and come up with some ideas on and around what I'd like to be doing with and for my future. Uh, like, I don't know whether it comes true or not, or what happens, or whatever is up to I guess myself and circumstance. But I don't know. Let's see here. So for a long time, I've kind of wanted to uh, get into fiction writing, and like I don't know. I've kind of wanted to uh, create like a comic, like a web comic or something. But I'm not super sure on any of that, if I'd ever do that or not. Uh, it's like I think what I'd like to do, is maybe take like a creative writing class coming up at my local community college. I know I've said this stuff in the past, but uh, it's not as in I mean it this time. It's more like it hasn't happened yet. I'm just kind of keep going over it because I don't know. I'm pretty set on that. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably what I'll end up doing this upcoming year, or like the for the uh, spring uh, 2018 semester. So, and then I don't know, I have to work on my writing skills and stuff so I can pass or get my GED. And then from there, I want to attend some sort of online university or something. I'm not super sure. I was looking into this University of the People. Uh, it's like a free online accredited university, uh, or it's tuition free. They still have fees and stuff for I don't know, for testing and registration and stuff. But I found out it's a kind of like an all text based curriculum. So it's just like you're reading fucking for days for 4 years straight. You're reading I don't know how much content to get your degree. And it's I don't know if I'm just I don't know. I don't know if I'm up for that. I more pictured a kind of a some sort of lecture, like video lectures or something, uh, opposed to just being completely text based. But whatever. um, so yeah, I don't know what I'll do exactly. Uh, I think uh, kind of if I were to, dream or daydream, uh, as I've labeled this to be, I would more or less like to start a multimedia and technology startup in or around my hometown. Um, I've been wanting to do that for a really long time. It just shit has gone in the way of me doing it. More I've gotten in my own way of doing it, and I don't really know what I'm doing, and that freaks me out a bit. Um, it's I don't know. I kind of dreamt of I don't know. I dreamt of like getting into software and application development, like being a software engineer. But I think that takes like quite a bit of talent and skill that I don't like. I don't know. I just seem to lack, I think. Um, and it's like I'm not saying it can't be acquired, but like it takes a lot of patience and time that like I don't really feel I have. You know what I mean? Or like I'm not really willing to put out or dish out towards like such a thing. Like, I feel like kind of like I've heard like something called imposter syndrome when someone like kind of steps into a field or like whatever for the first time and like they more or less get it in their head that they don't belong there, that they're an imposter in that whole arena. And I don't know, it's like I think it's known for more or less for like artists and stuff, but like I feel it could be like adopted into any sort of field. Like it just like uh it's interesting to me. Like uh I'm gonna take a little step sideways here and just do like um a sidebar to state or say that I apologize for saying like and all that so much. It's kind of like a nervous habit, I guess. But I'm like more or less conscious of it or aware, and I'm trying to like uh, become better at not using ands, ums, ors, or others, including likes or similar. Um, but yeah, back to what I was saying. Um, so yeah, I don't really know what I'll do. Like, I kind of dream of like, I don't know. I've always wanted to like be like the founder, president, and CEO of my own company. Like, since I was a kid, it's just like I've always like looked up to that kind of uh, title or whatever or achievement. It's like for me, it's like a business is kind of like a game, but like uh, I don't know, it's something to be taking like very seriously because it's like uh, I don't know, it's like I don't know, it's like a super professional sport, and you have to be like professional about it, in my opinion. But like I don't mean to like disrespect any sort of like thing as in calling it a game, but I think it's easier for me to digest sometimes thinking of it like that. Like just thinking of money and all that as just like points and like uh, I don't know. It's like it's weird. I don't want to like. I've kind of had this thing where it's like I haven't wanted to give any sort of like uh, object or possession or whatever something like uh, I have to like have power over me. Like I don't want my possessions to possess me. or like whatever. It's kind of sounds odd, but um, I've kind of always dreamt of being like kind of like a philanthropist, humanitarian, and like serial entrepreneur. And like I've always wanted to be like super uh, like connected within the community. Like I was just talking to my cousin about it the other day that like I kind of want to start going to like the uh, local like town meetings or whatever, and just like kind of get an idea of what's going on in the community and like see what I can do to help or like whatever. Um, like I super badly want to do some like I want to like do some sort of like multimedia and technology startup uh, like in my hometown, and like I kind of want to like just put that out there and see how that might like go. But I really don't know. It's like I want to get uh, kind of like people interested in something other than like partying and like drinking and doing drugs and stuff. Like that's something I'm really concerned about and like really worry about a lot. Uh, Not that like any of that's like my business or whatever. It's just like I don't know. It kind of just trips me out. Uh, like I feel like a kind of like a huge hypocrite because it's like I really do like to drink. Like I smoke a lot of weed, but like I don't know. I just like I get concerned about like overconsumption of like drugs and alcohol. Uh, like I said, I smoke a lot of weed, so I can't really see shit. But um, yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't know what to do about it, and like it's like super weird for me. Like I kind of want to like give or like provide a place for people to hang out. Um, like that's kind of always what I wanted when I was a kid. Like I've been trying to think of like kind of things I wanted when I was like younger in my area. As like I get older and like am able to do something or have like a bigger impact. And it's like I really just want to like create something that the community will get into and will like support, so we'll like survive because like a lot of things uh, like a lot of businesses don't survive in this area. It seems like they're really hard businesses to get into anyway. Like I don't know how people like I don't know. Not that like multimedia and technology isn't like difficult to get into. It's just like uh, I don't know, things like restaurants and stuff are like notorious for like being super difficult. There's like a lot of restaurants that go in and out of this area, and like seems like there's very few things for like uh kind of younger people to do. I think that's why like there's so much partying and stuff, which is like I don't know, it's cool and it's fun. It's just like I think what's freaked me out is like uh I don't know, I didn't like grow up around it too much. Like I was like I kind of sheltered myself from or like was sheltered in a way from like the whole like scene. Like uh my family was like pretty like hardcore partiers like back in the day because like my family were like kind of like local rock stars in like their area and like kind of in this area too back in like I don't know kind of like the 70s and like to like the 90s and it's just like they stopped playing music and stuff which is a bummer but like I don't know uh, so I kind of got into that whole scene a little bit like when I went to college. It was a lot of fun, but like um, a little overwhelming for me. Um, but yeah, I was gonna say like I think what a lot of what's like got it on my mind is seeing the news and people uh, or like you know young people over consuming alcohol and like dying while in college and stuff. And like I don't know, I've just seen how like drugs and alcohol can like ruin people's lives. And I don't want to see that for anybody. Like I don't know. I worry like a lot and like way too much, but it's like everybody's gonna do what they're gonna do. It's just like I don't feel like I can talk to anybody about like that kind of thing or like whatever at all because it's just like it's a touchy subject. And like I don't know, speaking of like wanting to get into the community, like whenever I can afford it, like and I can like basically get a vehicle again and um, all the responsibilities of it. Uh, I want to start going to like I don't know. I think I want to start going to church. Like I haven't done that since I was a little kid, and like I'm kind of interested in that kind of stuff. But like it's always like scared me a bit because like uh, I don't know. I've always had like really bad social anxiety and stuff, and like I don't know. I think too much. Like I said, well, I worry and think too much. I know it's like people have told me that my entire life, but like it doesn't really sink in until I start talking about it, I guess, and like obviously recording myself and trying to reflect on things or whatever. But yeah, it's like I think it'd be cool to start doing something like it's outside my comfort zone and uh, that is social. So I'm like so antisocial. It's like not even funny. And it's like I would like to like actually that's a lie. I really would hate to get a job again. I don't want to have anything to do with like working for another person again. Like it's against my like fucking whatever. It's against my like character and like unless it's like something that like is making a difference in some way and something that like I can stand and enjoy and is more or less like a career, something that like I can like or actually reverse that, something that like uh more or less is like someone investing in me. I don't want to like waste my time with someone who like uh is just kind of like using me like a lot of just like jobs are. But it's like I have all these like really strong beliefs that like I don't even like live by, and just it's like it's weird. I hate being a fucking hypocrite. It just like I have like all these bad habits is what it is basically, and it's like it's unhealthy, and like I'm all like about health in my mind. Like that's kind of where I wanted to be. I just haven't like figured it out or like found the key. I like to rhyme sometimes, so pardon me. It is what it is. I hope you agree. Anyway, between you and me, I don't know what to say. It's like a disease. It's like I wish I could rap. I wish I could rhyme. I think about doing it all the time. And it kind of just comes up, comes out, slips up, slips out. I don't know what that's all about, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like I've said this before that like uh, I super badly wish I could get into like uh, psychology and like I wish I could be like a psychologist or like maybe a counselor or something. And it's like uh, I'm really interested in like uh, what I call like holistic fiction. I don't know if it's like a real genre of fiction, but like uh, I claim it to be. Damn it, fuck it. um, yeah, so it's like basically it's like I've had this idea of um, trying to create um, yeah, like holistic fiction. I don't know how else to put it, but uh, loosely or just like on kind of broad terms, what my idea was that I wanted to take this whole idea of like this law of attraction thing that you hear of from like a that like film and book series by Rhonda Byrne, The Secret, and I've heard of it in like just principal laws of physics as being like attracts like. Um, then you hear it of like or in a kind of metaphor or a saying of like birds of a feather flap or flock together or whatever. But basically, it's like I wanted to take this idea and like create like my kind of like I guess lead protagonist character in like a series to kind of resemble or represent like who I'm trying to attract to it, like my my reader base or whatever, or my my audience. But it's like I wanted to kind of attract my audience instead of uh I don't know, like I don't know, I guess you kind of like more or less do attract your audience based upon like your interests and things or whatever themes you put in your story. But yeah, it's like I kind of wanted to like create like a profile or an avatar and try to like do some like catharsis or like emotional uh kind of like healing or like I don't know how to explain it, but like catharsis is like I think of it as like a release, like like kind of like an emotional release, and like it I feel like it happens a lot through like story and storytelling and like just talking and communication. And, like that's why I'm also into uh counseling and therapy and stuff, or wanting to be like a counselor or therapist. Um, but like I don't know. I've like had this want and like idea of like wanting to create this like multimedia and technology series. That's why I wanted to create my like startup for and everything. Is that like I felt and I've figured there's like a lot of talent in and around me and like in my hometown and stuff. Uh, it's like there's a lot of artists and musicians and like uh, kind of media moguls and stuff around here. And like I said, I've wanted to create like a place that uh, a space for people to like chill and like hang out. I kind of wanted to create like uh, a bar like atmosphere, but not like uh, have a bar basically. I don't know. I kind of wanted to have a bar. I think that'd be a lot of fun and be really cool. And it's like I'm just not like uh I don't know. I'm like kind of against drugs and alcohol, but then like uh like I said, I'm like a fucking huge hypocrite because it's like I think it'd be awesome to have like a bar. Just like I don't want to see anybody like do dumb shit because like a lot of people are like that. And like I feel like uh I don't know, I hate just uh kind of people who like waste their lives away doing something like uh drinking basically. Or like yeah, I don't want to see any sort of like drug ruin somebody's life. So it's like I'm all about like moderation and like health and all that stuff. But it's just like I said, I don't like act on it. It's like it's weird. I mean, like, I don't know how odd it is in reality, but it's like it's pretty weird to me. I hate it. So I wish I could like more live up to my own expectations. And like this is why I like doing this stuff is like that's why I like social media and all that because it's kind of like accountability. Like you put yourself out there and like all that people will hold you accountable for like your beliefs and your actions and your like intentions and everything. Like uh it really like uh I don't know, creates and shapes a person in a way. And I've kind of like uh I've thought of some like really weird shit in my life and time, but I've kind of like thought about like wanting to open my life up almost like a what is it? A reality show or something. But it's like I've kind of wanted to open source my life and reality and like uh be kind of like created by the community. Kind of like as they say, uh it takes a village to raise a child or something like that. So I don't know. It's kind of like an odd uh thing, but I don't know what to even like call it, but uh, I've definitely had this like want for a like complete transparency, like with kind of with like my community or whatever. Um, Another thing I was talking about to my or with my cousin, uh, I've been talking about like how uh, personally I feel I don't know I'm a major uh, like conversation junkie. I love to talk. Like I love to hear about like people's dreams, goals, and aspirations for their future and like for their lives and stuff. I just like to get people to think a bit about like all that because I know people don't always take the time to think of themselves and their own lives and futures and everything. And like even if I can just like create that spark in like the back of their mind, uh, that like essentially that they create their reality. You know what I mean? That like it's not that like I guess mysterious or anything, but like I guess I don't know. I never really thought about it like that before I uh, kind of got caught up in that whole law of attraction thing. Um, that like hearing that idea that that you create your reality. Um, so yeah, like what I was saying is that like I was talking to my cousin about like uh, the fact that I think that like talking is super healthy. That whole catharsis or cathartic thing, like that emotional like uh, dump, and like not to like confuse that with like dumping your problems on another person or whatever. Um, like I tend to try not to do that. Like I don't like to complain, and I don't like to like put stuff out there that like uh, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I do that a lot, but I try not to. I don't mean to, but I may should like be more conscious of it and maybe do it with a intention or with purpose, rather than it just being like blah, like a verbal vomit or uh, like emotional dump on people. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I'm just trying to like think what I was trying to say. Um, I don't know. I guess that's all I was trying to say is that I was talking to my cousin about how I felt like talking everything was like super healthy, and it's like uh, I wish there wasn't such like a I don't know. This wasn't what I was going to say, but I wish it wasn't such like a kind of like a stigma or like whatever it is, like kind of a cultural like whatever around like guys and kind of being in touch with their like emotions or like feminine side. It sounds like weird to a lot of people, but like uh, yeah, like I guess talking and stuff is kind of like it's something that like women are way more comfortable with than guys, and it's just like I think honestly that's why women live, like one of the reasons women live on average longer than men is because like men bury and like suppress their like emotions and their problems and like whatever. That's where like depression comes from, is like when you suppress and depress your emotions and and uh your shit basically, and it's like it uh renders manifest as like an illness or disease, because that like energy has to go somewhere, it has to be released, or like if it isn't, it becomes like for lack of better terms, cancerous. uh it like it it basically like what's it called, it corrupts or like what is it? Mutates. So like the energy or whatever will like mutate. Uh, it's like one of the principal laws of physics. So I've like heard is that like energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only change shape and form. So it's like basically when you or if you don't uh, do with that energy, it'll like do something on its own, or like it'll kind of like I said, mutate or translate into something else, like a disease or like illness. And then like I don't know, that's just no good. Uh, but yeah, there's like definitely like this weird kind of a cultural like stigma or thing about like people suppressing their stuff, and I don't know, it just doesn't lead anywhere good. And it's like uh, I think like media has done a lot of damage as far as like kind of our patience and stuff goes too. Like we're less willing to hear each other out and stuff because like a lot of people are kind of addicted to being entertained. Um, and it's like me, like I have a thing against wanting to uh, kind of like have to entertain or uh, like perform to get people's attention or uh, like kind of just to get out or say what like needs to be said. You know, it's weird. It's like personally, like I've always like felt kind of like in competition with the television throughout like my entire life, uh, just because like I don't know, it's like I'm more into like kind of like bonding and stuff like that, for lack of better uh, phrases, I guess. But I just like being real, and like I feel like there's just so much fake shit, and it's like I don't know, it's super weird. I feel like super just odd and like weird all the fucking time because like I don't like television very much, and like uh, it's like I feel like people buy into kind of just a bunch of bullshit and garbage a lot, and like kind of buy into like pardon me, like I feel like you know basically like I think of television and like media, like mainstream media, like that to be kind of like a drug, honestly. Like it's so concentrated. It's like a concentrated substance, and like the people who like like the actors basically on the television, they're trained to like fucking persuade and shit, and like they're taught all this crazy ass shit to do what they do and to like entertain you and like keep your attention and like all this stuff. It's like breaks down to being like super psychological and like it's like kind of manipulative and like kind of trippy to me. Like, like how they have I don't know. It's just like media and all that stuff. I have like a love-hate relationship with it. And like I do think of it like a drug. It's a trip. It's like the reason why I think of it like that is because it does ruin people's lives. Like people are pretty obsessed, like they're kind of addicted to media and like that like rush they get or whatever from the like that basically like the emotional roller coaster of like whatever it is. It's kind of a trip. It's like super weird to me. I don't like it. It's like I kind of tend to think that like television is kind of stupid and that like you're not really like learning much from it and it's not like beneficial in any way. It's like I think of it as being like kind of like hollow or like kind of like junk food or like uh, malnutritional or malnutritious. Uh, Not that like all of it is. There's like some good parts to it, like the fact that like it can make people smile and laugh and stuff is pretty good. Like that's pretty beneficial and all that. But like all the like fear-based propaganda and like all the stuff in the news and all that kind of stuff is kind of like scary for me. And like honestly, like a lot of stuff from Hollywood and like uh, stuff in video games kind of scares me anymore. Like it didn't used to, but like it got to be like a little bit too real for me. And like I studied enough into like brain chemistry and like or neuroscience and stuff to like be somewhat aware of how it affects like us, how it affects you and I, we, us, and them, and like them being like others we don't really think of. Um, but I feel like it affects everybody and not just like the few and the proud and like whatever. Um, but like basically what I'm getting at is that like your brain doesn't really know the difference between like uh, basically like the television and like all this stuff. It doesn't really like it isn't really capable of putting into uh, perspective or like capable of uh, like I don't know whatever. I can't think of the word I was trying to use, but it's not capable of comprehending the fact that it's like not happening like kind of locally, whereas like basically it's just like information. It's kind of like your your brain is just being bombarded with data, with just like information, and like it trips me out because like it's kind of like a social experiment, because like, or a lot of shit is, because we have no idea what it's doing to us or what it's going to do to us, like uh, as time goes on, because like I don't know, it just trips me out, and I don't feel like people like really put too much thought into it, and like I don't like I don't know, I put like a lot of thought into it, and like I worry about it a lot, but like it's just because like I kind of have seen it, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it's just really trippy for me, or to me. But it is like all more or less freedom of speech, I think. And like that's what I kind of like want to fight for and protect, is like our freedoms and stuff. Because like I don't know, uh, I've always been like uh, I've always kind of been interested or into like kind of the military and government. I've always wanted to be uh, like a Navy SEAL, or like a uh, whatever, something like that. Like just one of the elite, like I don't know, soldiers, kind of. Um, just because I've always thought they were like fucking badass in a lot of ways, and like uh, all that. But like what I'm trying to get at is, it's just like I get in my head that like I want to fight for something, and like I kind of uh, I don't know. I kind of want to like see what I can get away with too, as far as like kind of gray areas. Like I feel like this is kind of like expanding on like when you're a kid, and and you kind of like are testing your boundaries, and like pushing buttons, and uh, like turning knobs and pulling levers and stuff. But like yeah, you're like, I like to push people's buttons, and like all that. So it's like I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to get at anymore. I'm super fucking lost anymore. It's stupid, but whatever. Hate that. I hate that I like lose my train of thought, or lose track of what like I'm trying to say, and like what I'm attempting to convey, or like the picture I'm attempting to paint, like overall, the big picture. Um, it's like I feel like super like kind of just odd, as I said before. Um, I think I'm like uh, a lot of what I'm like wanting or like what I'm trying to do is like find uh I don't know, I'm trying to like meet people that I can like relate to, I think. Now that like I'm kind of thinking about it. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I just haven't really like gotten to it. Like I've always been like really kind of focused on my own shit and like never really put too much effort or time into like relationships or friendships or any of that. Um, and just like it's a lot of it is because I just haven't felt like I had the time for it. A lot of it is because I've like been hurt a lot by people and been used a lot. So I'm like, I don't know, I feel pretty like scarred up. Um, but like, I don't know, pretty much who hasn't, you know what I mean? That's kind of like the whole thing is like, so what? Um, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like, I guess my place in the world. I've been trying to like figure that shit out for like a while. And it's like, I've kind of felt like uh, it doesn't really exist. Like, I feel like I have felt like so super alone throughout my life. It's just like kind of fucked up and ridiculous. Like I realize how much of like that stuff is really like closed-minded or childish or whatever like frame of mind or way of thinking. Uh, but it's just kind of like it's been kind of the way I've felt for a long time. And so it's like I felt like I needed to create my space or my place in this world and then like maybe kind of like I'm kind of like wanting to believe in that like whole thing of like as in the Bible or whatever of of build it and they will come. But like or like another good one is like asked and it's given, seeketh and you shall find. I'm not super like religious or like biblical at all. Like like I said, I haven't like gone to church since I was a little kid, and it's always kind of scared me. Um, I've always kind of been like super suspicious, I think, of people and their like intentions or like what they're what they really want from like not only myself but from like people. Like, why do they do what they do? 'Cause it's like I don't know. I've kind of felt not that like it's the case or anything, but I kind of felt like that like life is pretty um what is the term here? Not self-sacrificing, but like kind of the opposite. Like there are extremes in every direction, obviously. Like, but like life is pretty like selfish. It like, or at least uh, it feels that way, or it can be. And like I said, it's like not that everybody's that way, or that like there isn't extremes in every direction. It's just like generally speaking, I feel that life is kind of like self-serving, like kind of more on like a analytic or like deeper unconscious level that like we're kind of ruled by our like uh or like that we can be ruled by our uh lower I don't even know what to call it. I know it's called something or like lower uh animalistic desires and stuff, I guess. I don't even know what to say. But like it's kind of a trip. Like there, from what I've studied, there's like three different brains we like have and use like within our brain. It's like we have like our our complex, which is like the what reptilian brain or whatever. It's like a it's kind of what's responsible for our like or like I said, our lower desires and stuff, like or more animalistic things. Like if you think of a reptile, um, uh, and like they kind of like go after food and sex and that kind of thing. It's like that's what that part of our brain is like. Uh, Therefore, it's like uh, it's a very small portion of our brain, and it's like it's a trip because it's kind of like a I don't know. I feel like people who are kind of like cold-blooded or whatever are more in that area of their brain. But then like moving up and on and forward, um, we also have like the mammalian brain, uh, which is like where we get the mammal part from, and like the whole like architecture hierarchy of animal, uh, and that's like I guess responsible for our emotions and stuff, which is pretty trippy. Um, and then like we have our neocortex, which is our like frontal lobe, and it's like responsible for our like ability to imagine and that kind of thing, and like forward think and all of that. So it's like basically animals and stuff that don't have that like neocortex or like the newer brain. Uh, they don't have the ability to like imagine or forward think like that. They don't work in that way, uh, which is really interesting. It's really fascinating to me. I've always been like super fascinated by like the brain and I guess like psychology and metaphysics and all that kind of stuff. I don't know all the like disciplines or terms or like the lingo or whatever, but like it's all super interesting. Um, what else? I don't know what else really like where I was going with any of that, but it just kind of popped into my mind. Uh, it's like, um, yeah, I don't know. I forgot what I was even fucking gonna say. I'm sorry. I hate that. And I hate that, like, I feel like I have to apologize too, I want to say, because, like, I get into that whole, like, mindset of having to entertain or that, like, I'm here to, like, well, I don't know. like I'm here to entertain you or whatever, but it's like more or less I'm here for, as selfish as it sounds, like I'm here more for me than I am for you. Uh, at least in this like video or whatever. Depends on who you are out there, but doesn't mean I'm not there for you or whatever. Anyway, so what was I saying? So back up a little bit again. Like I was saying, I've wanted to and have been wanting to uh, create like a startup, like a multimedia and technology startup, and like I've wanted to be all these different things, including like a fiction writer and uh, like an artist and illustrator and or concept artist and stuff. Um, and I've thought about like I don't know. I've thought about like so much stuff. I just don't know how to go about doing it. Um, I think it'd be pretty epic though. It's like uh, I think if I could like have a go in any way I wanted, like if I were like literally to like author and illustrate or create my whole like life and reality, if that were how it worked, um, I think I'd like try to focus on trying to meet some like talented people that I could like do something with, like like partner up with or whatever, or hire or like just befriend and like help each other out in some way. Um, it's like I've kind of wanted to and have dreamt of like creating a community of sorts, um, or being a part of a community or something. Like I don't know like what to do about it. It's like I said, like right now, presently, I don't even have like a vehicle or like the means to get one or maintain or like any of that. Uh, and like I live kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, out in the boonies. So for now, I'm kind of stuck doing my thing, like from home and like over the internet and online. And I should have said or online, basically, internet or online. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Um, I'm really, really, really wanting to like try to create like a business plan for this. It's just like I don't know where to start or how to get there or what I'm like looking for or any of that yet. It's like a super bummer too because like I had before my car broke down and I was like forced to quit my job and quit going to school and all that. I had been taking a business course at my local community college, and it was all about like creating a business plan and stuff. Like I was all into it. I was like really, really, really like wanting to do that, and it's like everything kind of blew up in my face. It was a bummer, and like I haven't been able to get back on my feet since. Like, like seriously, like having a vehicle is like freedom. It's weird, but anyway, moving on. Uh, let's see. I guess that's it. I don't know what else to say. I've been going over for an hour, so going on for over an hour. I'll probably do this again sometime soon. Um, I'm really trying to focus on like figuring out what I'm going to do with my future, what I'm going to do like to make some money and all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's like I'm kind of into like wanting to document the whole thing too, just for whatever purposes. I just think it's kind of cool. Uh, I think it's super neat that like we actually have all these things at our fingertips anymore. It's pretty remarkable. But anyway, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Uh, much love and peace and all that good stuff. All right. Love you guys. Peace.